Weapons. One of the first choices you have to make will impact your gameplay, your playstyle, and can be the difference between beating your first boss and quitting the game forever. This is the best weapon in each Soulsborne game. What makes a good weapon? Well, there are many criteria, such as the moveset. Is it quick but doesn't hit as hard, or is it a hard hitting weapon but slow? Scaling. Does it scale with dex or strength? Does it have S or E scaling? When can you obtain said weapon? These are all important questions that have to be asked. So I'm here to talk about my favorite, not best, but favorite weapons. Moving on to the first game in the franchise, Demon Souls. The weapon I used for most of my first playthrough is the Crescent Falchion. Obtainable right after beating Phalanx, found in 4-1, right past this red-eyed skeleton, requires low dex and strength, uses magic, very fast, easy to R1 spam, and in my opinion the best early game weapon that I know of. It is a curved sword, so its moveset consists of horizontal slashes for R1, R2 is a diagonal slash, and two-handed is the same but with like a leaping slash following it up with an R2. Magic is so OP in this game, which makes it a big deal break. And it's an amazing choice for early to mid game. Dark Souls, the most iconic game in the franchise, and this was definitely the easiest pick. Without a doubt, it has to be the sword Nito himself uses, the Gravelord's sword. A curved greatsword that was probably been used for 4 out of 4 of my gameplay or playthroughs. This weapon is just too good. I just can't help it, okay? I just can't help it. There are 100% better weapons, but this weapon is my favorite and most enjoyable weapon to use. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's faster than an Ultra Greatsword, but like the same as a Greatsword. I don't know. It just feels faster at least. But same as the Crescent Falchion in Demon Souls, it can be obtainable as soon as you reach Firelink Shrine. It is found in the catacombs next to the Titanite demon. Just go to the grave and join the Covenant. And I'll be honest, I had no idea it even inflicts toxin. And it's another good thing to use it. But to be fair, its scaling is horrible. It has E strength scaling and E dex scaling, which really brings it down, but I still really like it. R1 is a slash and R2 is a thrust attack. According to this wiki comment, it's actually the only thrust attack for a curved greatsword, which is pretty cool, I would say, in the whole series. Dark Souls 2. Anyone who's played any Souls game would know about the good old greatsword. I don't even need to get into much detail because everyone knows everything about it. S strength scaling, slow as hell, heavy, pancakes enemies, reliable for any strength build really. Moving on to Bloodborne. Pretty sure it's the strongest weapon in the game, but it's also the most boring pick out of here. It is none other than Ludwig's Holy Blade. You can get it by getting the Radiant badge and buying it from like those skeleton thingies, I don't know, from that store in the Hunter's Dream. As a normal form, it's an amazing longsword, again for R1 spam, and you can parry with it. But as soon as it's turning into the strict form, or the L1, it turns to the opposite, to a greatsword, which is in my opinion works really well. It is a quality sword, so it scales with strength and skill. You can't parry when you use the greatsword, but that's good because it will be way too OP. Moving on to Dark Souls 3. The only dual-wielded swords on this list. It is mainly for dex builds, which is the Cell Sword Wind Blades. It's only basically only usable when two-handed and using L1, because other than that, it is really not that good. It's basically just 2 scimitars, but yet another extremely fast weapon. It is really fun weapon just to roll L1, roll L1. A scaling in dex with sharp infusion, and the only weapon on the list which is actually obtainable from the very start by using the mercenary class. And it can also be found in the Road of Sacrifices, which is pretty early on, I would say. Moving on to the last one, Elden Ring. Get another curved weapon. Oh, 4 out of 6 entries are curved swords. I don't know why, okay? Curved swords are just so good. There's something about them that just hits really well. Anyways, it's the Bloodhound's Fang. Quality sword, so scaled with strength and dex. And it won't be a good Elden Ring weapon without it inflicting Bleed. Anyone who's played Elden Ring would tell you, would have heard at least, about how good Bleed is in this game. But what really makes this weapon stand out is the Ash of War, Bloodhound's Finesse. It is a unique Ash of War. It does a slash and then you backflip away from the enemy. But then you can follow up with another L2 to dash forwards to your enemy, and you're invulnerable during that dash, and you hit him with a strong slash. And you inflict bleed, of course. So it's just a really OP Ash of War. You can obtain the weapon by killing the Bloodhound Knight, found in this Evergold very early on. I have some bonus weapons that couldn't fit in, but I just really love them in the whole series. It is the Uchi Katana, Sick Katana, do I have to say more? Claymore, amazing moveset. It is a great sword, but it feels really fast for a great sword. I don't know if it's just me or no. And it's found in all Souls games. And the most iconic weapon in the whole From Software games. Not only Soulsborne, but also Kingsfield and like QTE Simulator Ninja Blade. Moonlight Greatsword. In my opinion, the best looking sword in any game, and it's one of my favorite in the whole series. But my favorite weapon is actually, well, it's pretty obvious, the Gravelord sword. Well, I would like to hear what's your favorite weapon in the whole series.